Hello, this is Peter from PetesTravel.com and allinclusivecaribbeancruises.net. Well, about 1 week ago, my family of 5 came back from our first Disney cruise. And tonight, I want to talk about whether or not it was worth it. Because, trust me, it cost us an arm and a leg. Keep watching. And we are back. Well, like I said, we just got back from our first Disney cruise. It was a 4-night cruise aboard the Disney Dream. And we sailed out of Miami to the Bahamas, Nassau, and the private island, Castaway Cay. So, my question is, was it worth the amount of money that we paid? There were 5 of us, and we all stayed in one cabin. It was a deluxe ocean view cabin, and hey, it was big enough. Actually, it's the most spacious cabin that we've stayed in on any cruise ship. So I'll give Disney that. I've always said that Carnival has the largest staterooms for the cruise ships that we've been aboard. Carnival has come out on top in terms of the space in the staterooms, but this time Disney actually beat Carnival. So this room, there were 5 of us, and our kids are grown. One is 22, one is 20, the other is 16, and we had sufficient space. But let's examine this cruise. Was it really worth it? Well, I'll highlight some things about the cruise that were really impressive, that were really good and different from what we have experienced in other cruise lines. The first thing is when we got right where you enter the ship, you normally come aboard in the atrium, that wide open space on most ships. Well, and this particular cruise and this particular ship, the atrium is really wide open. It's a wide space, and you can tell it's Disney because you have the staircase. You're used to seeing staircases in Disney movies with princesses and stuff. So you have that, and then 2 decks above you have the rounded balconies. So we had that. So it was a nice space to enter in. And what happened is that as we entered, they asked for our family name. And then they announced us, so that was really cool. It was different. We have never had that in any cruise ship. So they said, the Disney Dream welcomes the Grant family, and there were others who were cheering us, and that was really cool. So that was one highlight. That was a little bit different from what we're used to. As I mentioned, our stateroom was bigger than other cruise lines, and so that's also a plus. And one interesting thing about our stateroom is it was a deluxe, a category 8B deluxe family ocean view room, and this room actually had a split bathroom. So there's one section with the toilet and a sink and the shelves to put your toiletries. And then there's a second section with the shower, very nice shower. And yeah, if you continue to watch my channel, you'll see where I post other videos about the bathroom and the room itself. And so there's one section with the bathroom, with the toilet and a sink and the shelves. And then there's a second section with the shower, sink, and the shelves. That was different. I've not seen it in any of the cruise ships. So that was really useful for a family of 5. You know, somebody can be showering or somebody can be doing their business in the toilet. You know, so pretty impressive actually invention, I think. So that was good and that was different. So those are 2 things. The welcome aboard, the stateroom was different, pretty good. And then what I liked too is that there are 3 main restaurants or dining rooms on this ship. Not talking about the specialty restaurants. There are 2 specialty restaurants, but there are 3 main dining rooms that are included in your cruise fare. And as some of you may know, what they did is that they switched us from one dining room to the next. So it was a 4-night cruise. We actually ate in 3 different dining rooms. So that was good. That was different too. You get to try different cuisines. And what was also very cool about this is that your serving team the serving team followed us from stateroom not stateroom. I keep mixing stateroom with dining room. From dining room to dining room, the serving team followed us. So we had the same people serving us. They knew what we liked, and interestingly too, they catered in a very personal way, because they found out that the group of us, there were 8 of us total. The group of us were mainly the parents were from Jamaica. And they went out of their way to treat us to something Jamaican. Like one night they brought us peppered shrimp because we told them we liked peppered shrimp, and the servers told us that they actually had a Jamaican chef in the kitchen, and then the last night he brought us something really truly Jamaican. He made for us rice and beans. Rice with kidney beans, so it's the reddish colored rice with curry chicken. Now that's truly Jamaican, and it was pretty good. The curry shrimp was great, and the rice and beans with curry chicken, very good as well. So they added that personal touch, right? So those are good things. Those are really good things. The welcome aboard, the stateroom, bigger stateroom with the split bathroom. Switching from one restaurant to another with the same serving team who looked out for us in a personal kind of way. Those things are really impressive as far as I'm concerned. And then you might have been in cruises where you have to pay for soda, right? Well, not in this cruise. They had the fountain. There are the places where you could go get your soda any time of the day. And they had the usual stuff, the Coke and the Sprite, and some other ones, Diet Coke as well, and Coke Zero. And you could get soda included in your cruise fare, right? You didn't have to pay for soda like you do on other cruise lines. You have to buy a soda package or buy a la carte as you go along, whenever you needed one. For those who are big in soda, you'll go pay for it. And this cruise line's soda is included. That's also a plus. It's different, and it works for people who really like soda and want their soda on board the ship. So those are some good things, right? Very impressive. And another thing I noticed is that on the first day of the cruise, they allow you 50 megabytes of data. So after you leave port, you have to put your phone into airplane mode. And remember that, by the way, when you sail, after you leave port, make sure your phone is in airplane mode, so you don't incur charges at sea, because those things, those charges are really exorbitant and they go really quickly. With my company, it's like $15 per megabyte. Can you imagine, per megabyte of data used? So you don't want to be caught with that, because you're going to come back with a huge bill. But what Disney does, they allow you the first 50 megabytes of data. It's not much, because I selected that, and in no time they told me I was out. But it's, there's some thoughtfulness to it, that they would actually give you some amount of a day free data. So that was good. And that also leads me to the Disney app. So that's another. That's one of the highlights. And the other thing is their app is where I've been on cruises where you have the app, and of course, which is very useful because it shows you everything. It shows you where things are on the ship. It reminds you of. It sends you notifications about dinner and about shows that are about to begin, about when the shows are for that day. It gives you an outline of the daily events. Super app, and I've seen it on other cruise lines. What's different about this is that with the Disney app, you're able to actually chat for free, right? I've seen the app, I've seen chat features before on other cruise lines, but there's a charge. With Disney, there is no charge. You can chat with family members and whomever through the app without having to pay extra. So far, those are good things, right? The welcome aboard, the switching between restaurants, the free 50 megabyte of data, the chat feature in the app, the free soda, the split bathroom. Pretty cool, right? Another thing about it is that if you're really a Disney fan, you will enjoy this, is that there are newly released movies, right? And they have 3 places. There were 4 places actually where you could watch movies. You have the big screen and the open deck, the pool deck, pretty cool. Then there's a dedicated theater for movies, also pretty cool. I said 4. So there's the open theater. Yes. Then there's the main theater where they have their production shows. They also show movies there. And then there's on-demand stuff in your room, right? On-demand movies or whatever on your stateroom TV. So, hey, pretty impressive. You don't have to pay extra for the on-demand stuff. I've seen elsewhere where you really have to pay for that. So that's also very good. So if you're a Disney buff, really crazy about Disney, you will really enjoy that. Another thing you will enjoy as a Disney fan is character sightings and the opportunity to take pictures with Disney characters. So throughout the cruise, I started out by talking about that wide open space that you enter as you come aboard. Yeah, you would have the characters out there, the Mickey and Minnie and Donald Duck and Daisy and Pluto, and then the princesses, Cinderella and Tiana. They would show up and they would be out there with so the excited kids can come up and take pictures, and not just the kids, but you had families taking pictures with them. And then there were also elsewhere throughout the ship. You would run into them or have sightings of them, and people could take pictures with them. So those are really exciting things for Disney fans, and I think for most people that may be it, right? The icing on the cake for them in terms of the Disney cruise. So those are all pretty cool things thrown in to your Disney package, right? Some 2 other things I'll mention is that, again, a big Disney fan, you will enjoy the fact that they're always playing Disney songs, right? Or with the PA system, Disney songs. And so I remember saying to one worker, you know all these songs by now, don't you? She laughed and she said, yeah, I know these songs. Because they're playing these songs, and so you enjoy, and trust me, I know you will agree that Disney has really produced some such great songs over the years in their movies or whatever. Songs that are very catchy, songs that are so famous now that you just love to hear them play. So those are all great things. And the final thing I would mention is the production shows. Of this cruise, I was lucky to see Beauty and the Beast, and then something called Disney's Believe, is where there's a daughter who wants her father to believe in magic, and so he goes in this journey where he encounters different Disney characters, and that was also pretty cool. And eventually, of course, he believed. He came to believe in magic. What I liked about the production shows in Disney is that they're more tasteful. The other cruise lines have shows, they have production shows too, Las Vegas type shows. But for me personally, those shows tend to be just a lot of dancing and stuff. And I think in many cases, scantily clad females throwing themselves and whatever. The shows many of them are great. The storylines are good, but I prefer the types of show I saw on Disney. Because I think, well, they're more PG as far as I'm concerned, and so more family oriented. So those are really cool. So I've mentioned quite a few things, right, that are all included. These are all included in your Disney cruise fare. So the question is, as I started out, is it really worth what we pay to travel in June? Because this is June. We traveled June 2022. Was it really worth it? I will say that as much as I enjoyed all the things that I mentioned, right? Those are pretty cool things. I'm not sure that the price point was the best, right? At Disney, someone who's crazy about Disney, I think, may disagree and say, yeah, it's all worth it. All these things thrown in. They may, but for me, I don't quite think so. I believe that it was a little pricey. For 5 of us, it was quite a bit of money for a 4-day cruise. And as much as all those things I mentioned were really good and really appreciated, I'm not sure that the price was worth it. But don't let what I'm saying keep you from actually taking a Disney cruise. What I would recommend, instead of doing a Disney cruise, say in June or July, I would recommend that you do it, say, in the fall, in September, if you can, because you'll find that the price goes down, right? That's the hurricane season, and so prices tend to fall on all the cruise lines. So if you really want to sail Disney, and I think you should, I really think you should, your kids will enjoy it. Your kids will enjoy it, and if you're a Disney fan, you'll have a blast. But I would suggest that you do so when the fares are a little bit lower, and that would be around September, end of August into September, away from the holidays. But of course, if you have the money to spend, go ahead and do it in June, do it in July. But that's just my recommendation. And this is Peter from PetesTravel.com and allinclusivecaribbeancruises.net saying, hey, I hope to see you someday on the high seas. Bye.